Nobody tells you this part about becoming more aware. Sometimes the price of seeing clearly is realizing how many people were only comfortable with a version of you they couldn't see yet. And that realization changes everything. Have you ever noticed that moment you start understanding yourself better? Your relationship starts changing, not because you became difficult, not because you became distant, but because you stopped pretending not to notice things you used to ignore just to keep the peace. That shift is quiet, but powerful. Awareness doesn't usually break relationships. It reveals them. It shows you where effort was only one-sided, where understanding was temporary, where presence depended only on convenience. And once you see those patterns clearly, you can't go back to living inside the old version of the connection. Not because you don't care, but because you can see now. Sometimes people don't struggle with who you're becoming. They struggle with losing who you used to be for them, because the old version of you was easier to predict and sometimes easier to control. Growth removes that comfort, and not everyone knows how to stand beside someone who is changing. There comes a moment where you stop adjusting yourself just to remain familiar to people who stop growing with you. You stop lowering your voice where you once stayed quiet. You stopped explaining yourself where you once stayed misunderstood. You stopped staying smaller just so relationship could stay the same. And that moment feels lonely at first, but it's actually freedom beginning. Because the truth is, real connection doesn't disappear when you grow. It grows with you, it adapts, it strengthens. It doesn't ask you to return to the older version of yourself just to make relationships feel comfortable again. Real relationships don't fear your clarity, they respect it. People sometimes say awareness makes you different, but awareness doesn't change who you are. It changes what you can no longer ignore. Big difference. And once you stop ignoring what you see clearly, your life naturally begins to rearrange itself, not by force, by truth. Because awareness doesn't just show you who people are. It shows you who you were pretending to be just to keep them close. And the moment you stop pretending, the right people don't disappear. They step closer. And the wrong ones quietly step away. And that's how you know you're finally walking forward for real.